What's up, y'all? This is Tyrone Stock Tips, and we are back. Can you believe I recorded this entire video previously, and it was on mute the whole time? Crazy, right? But I'll do it again. All right. So just this is an update on the Google Saga. Just to let y'all know, going forward, we're gonna call this. We have a playlist of all of my trades because I'm I'm done with posting, trades on Instagram because all it doesn't serve me any purpose. It looks like an ego thing when I do it on Instagram, and it means nothing. And then it just doesn't do anything for me. And I prefer to actually explain what's happening because it actually helps people for me to put it on a long format. And anyone who's willing to sit and watch this video, they're willing to learn, right? They're willing to learn, and they're willing to understand how trades work and how someone could live off the market like I'm doing, right? But yeah, it's gonna be the playlist is gonna be called Leaps of Faith. It's pretty much all of my leap trades. I have another playlist that's gonna be called Paid Time Off. So it's like something you could do if you have a job. It's a bunch of swing trades. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, from here on out, these leap trades are gonna be called Leaps of Faith. All right. So let's get into Google. Remember, we had the previous trade we entered around here. I made the mistake of trading it like a leaps trade. I should have, but that wasn't the plan. You always want to stick to your plan. If it was wrong, um, you want to get in the habit of practicing your plan, not your ego. All right. So we got in, got out near the mean reversion, which was the mean reversion play, because what I didn't want to happen was a rejection, and for it to deal with a double bottom, right? Now I made 1,300 profits on that, so it's not a loss, right? I'm green, and it was a good trade. But since then, that stock has gone up about 30 points, and I was, you know, I'm human. I got mad. I was like, man, I should have never sold. But we you always want to practice patience. So what we did was we re-entered at about 375.90, and I'm going to explain why I did it and what the plan is moving forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look back in the past, because sometimes the past could show you how the stock operates. It won't do the same, but it can show you how the stock operates. Just looking at this chart, does this not look very similar? It's like a coil down, bounce off the 200 EMA, daily EMA. Same thing, right? And I should have caught this. I should have noticed, okay, it jumped up, right? So what it did was when it got to the middle of the Bollinger Band and clear all of these clusters, it jumped up. Look at what it did. Same thing. Once it cleared that, it gapped up, right? So to protect myself in this trade when entering, I decided, okay, I'm either going to get in at a retest of about, you know, well, first, before I say that, here I was going to wait for a retest coming in here. I said that in a previous video. I was waiting for a retest of 350. But like I said before, it gapped up. So now I got to make a choice. Am I going to wait and miss the trade, which you never want to chase, or do you want to take a calculated risk, which includes risk management, right? So I said, let me look at how this chart is behaving, right? Let me go to here. Here's the 1 hour chart. I always enter on the 4 hour chart, right, to see what's really happening. But here's what I saw. At first, I got happy. I thought we were going to enter the gap fill, but it rejected off of this line. So what I did was I drew a trend line, and I said to myself, if it crosses this trend line, I'm gonna figure out my new entry. So here was my new entry. My new entry was, okay, we formed this high wick, right? I said the next candle, I'm gonna wait for it to wick downward and then come back up. And then if it crosses here, I'm gonna enter. That was the plan. Okay. So I sat and waited until, almost close to end of was it end of close? When did I enter? I can't remember, but it was past afternoon, and it gets real slow. But I waited and waited until we crossed this price right here. And once it crossed, I entered. But I entered slightly earlier than what I had. I had it set for 375.99, but you always want to buy into strength and sell into strength, right? Well, not buy into strength. You want to buy before you meet the resistance, because what'll happen is it'll just blow through and you won't be able to fill in your order. You be, trying to um overshoot your order. All right. So I got in here. Um, I set my stop loss to a weekly close below here, below 365. Why? Because if it goes below this, that means my trade is invalidated, right? And if you don't set a stop loss, you pretty much aren't managing your money. If you want to be able to trade for a living, you want to play defense more than you play offense. You If you want to trade for a living, you're better off taking one trade per year or something like that, right? Let's say you got three contracts. You could take one trade per year. You could take three contracts. Let's say you bought, let's say I bought something crazy for Google, like down, I don't know, January. Let's just say I bought here. If I bought three contracts and I sold one right here, kept it all running, right? I mean, well, this is a bad example, but you know what I mean. What I'm saying is, you're better off not doing anything than making mistakes. Okay. So what I don't want to do is make a mistake and lose money. So my stop loss is going to be at a weekly close, which you'll see here. If I have a weekly close, meaning the weekly candle has to close below 365. If that happens, the trade is bad. Okay. So if it's a day that drops below just a touch of retest and come back up, I'm still fine. Okay. Now heading towards my take profit. Now this is a trend trade. It's not going to have a particular stop loss. Now what I will do is I'll monitor the all-time high, right? I'm going to look at the all-time high. We may reject or we may continue, right? We may continue this trend all the way to up here, right? If I draw, let's just say, a random line, this is not going to happen. I'm just drawing a trajectory, right? Let's just say it continues up to here. I'm taking my profits around 500. Of course, that's not what it's going to do. It's going to, zigzag and zigzag, and it's probably going to be somewhere around here, somewhere along this area. We don't know. That's the thing about stocks. We don't know. Okay. So that's the plan. We're going to ride it. And once we get beyond this, we're going to be looking at weekly closes only. I'm not going to be staring at the screen. I'm not going to be touching my trades like I did last time. Because if you look at what happened previously, when it came back to this point, what did it do? It got to the high and just started going crazy, which is kind of what's happening, right? All green candles for weekly. So it could just shoot up. It could, shoot just straight up and then hit that trend line like 440 and we're out. Okay. So that's the plan. I'll show you the call that I'm taking. It's the 370 call. I would have picked 365, but 365 had a bad spread. I would have had a terrible entry. It wasn't enough people trying to buy and sell. So, well, bid and ask. So I'm doing this. I'll just show you a simulation of my returns. Let's just say for now, as you can see, it was showing -2, but the stock moves after hours. But let's say we go to 404, that becomes 1800. But what did we say? We're gonna just ride the trend. Let's say we exit at about 440. We're looking at about a $4,500 trade. Now, if it keeps going, again, this is all theoretical. Let's say, I don't know, 460. Looking at about a $6,000 trade, okay? So I'm just showing you the world of a person that lives off of trading. This is what I chose to do with my life. I worked hard like everyone else, saved up my money, moved out of the US, and this is what I do for a living. I sit and wait, sit and wait, sit and wait for trades to happen. Okay. So there y'all have it. We made 1,300 on the previous trade. We re-entered. That's the summary of this trade. Um, if y'all want to learn how to pick, because this looks confusing, right? All of these numbers, delta, gamma, theta, and those are important, by the way. So just if you want me to explain it to you, go to my Calendly and you can get a one-on-one, and I could teach you how I do these methods. Also, in order to support the channel, go to tyronestockshop.com. You can purchase merchandise from there. Uh, Also, another thing is I have another saga going. Well, I'm gonna start another saga. It's gonna be the Nvidia saga. If you want to watch that, I'm gonna put um, it's gonna be in a playlist because this video is gonna get released before the Nvidia video, right? So it may not be, I might not be able to tag that video in here, but if I probably in the later on, once the Nvidia video is in, I'll probably put it in the top right corner. If you see it now, that means I released the video. If you don't see it now, that means I didn't. But Nvidia, we got in on Nvidia. I mean, yeah, well, I've been in on Nvidia. Uh, you can watch this trade also. We did have a successful day. We kept rejecting this area. We were in this little, you know, I can't think of it. This horizontal zigzag. They got a proper name. It's what is it called? Capitulation. I, I'm losing words simply because I'm talking right now. I know the terms. It's just right now I'm talking live, so I can't. I'm gonna put the proper word in, but it's basically it's channeling up and down, right? It's going nowhere. But usually when that happens, you get this. It's like a spring loading, right? When you zigzag, but that spring could go down too. But that's what people thought was going to happen when it dipped here. But I'll explain that in the Nvidia video. If you want to check that trade out, it'll be in the another video in the Leaps of Fate saga, well, playlist. This is the Google saga, and video would be the Nvidia saga, like Dragon Ball Z, right? But yeah, we're gonna continue doing this. If you like it, say it in the comments. Say, yeah, I like this, and you could truly learn from me doing this, right? It's a learning experience for myself. Also, I'm not perfect. I'm every day I'm learning what to do and what not to do, and it seems like what not to do is way more important than learning what to do and mastering, psychological things. But yeah, I'm gonna leave Google alone. I'll come back and report on it if something happens. If we had a good week or a good day or earnings call or something, just check back in. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your peoples about it. Your peoples, yeah, I said that. I know that's grammatically incorrect, but yeah, just let people know that I'm doing this. We are the time travelers, right? Go buy the merchandise at tyronestockshop.com if you want to support the channel. All of the merchandise will support me. So, you can represent the lifestyle. Hopefully this frees people. It allows them to become traders also. Until then, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace, peace, peace.